News moves fast, and so do we. Welcome to Neural Newscast, your AI-powered, human-reviewed daily briefing.
Welcome to Neural Newscast Deep Dive. I'm Jonathan, your transportation reporter, and with me is Andrew, our correspondent. We've got a fascinating lineup today. On this day in 1900, U.S. engineers began work on the Panama Canal by starting the excavation of the Gaillard Cut, the section that would ultimately slice through the continental divide.
That Gaillard Cut kickoff in 1900 was the backbone of the whole effort. Everyone knew that if the divide couldn't be opened, the canal wouldn't happen.
Exactly. Cutting through the continental divide wasn't just digging a trench. It meant wrestling with geology, drainage, and massive earth-moving in a tropical environment.
And politically, breaking ground signaled U.S. commitment after the French false start. Logistically, it meant organizing a long-haul effort that wouldn't turn back.
The scale was staggering. Millions of cubic yards moved, slopes stabilized, rail lines and steam shovels choreographed, an integrated infrastructure approach from day one.
Timing mattered too. Starting in 1900 put the U.S. in execution mode on a complex, modern program overseas. Supply chains, manpower, and governance all had to align.
You can hear the planning in their priorities. Focus resources on the divide first to create a continuous navigation channel instead of scattering efforts across segments.
And if Gaillard Cut worked, it meant a reliable ocean-to-ocean route, reshaping naval strategy and global commerce in exactly the ways policymakers were betting on.
From an urban planning lens, the cut was the spine. Its success enabled the locks, plus the company towns and support facilities that grew around canal operations.
The tactical hurdles were constant: tropical weather, disease, the unpredictability of massive earthworks. But by breaking ground in 1900, engineers put those challenges squarely on their to-do list.
Solving them demanded new techniques and management, tightly coordinated excavation schedules, slope monitoring and mitigation, and non-stop adaptation to field conditions.
So that 1900 start was both symbolic and practical. The shift from drawing board to irreversible action, with real consequences for trade and U.S. infrastructure capacity.
Precisely. Initiating Gaillard Cut turned ambition into implementable infrastructure and set the engineering path the entire canal would follow.
A pivotal beginning that defined the canal's trajectory, and ultimately its place in transportation history.
We'll be right back after this short break. Today we celebrate the birthdays of Man Ray, 1890, Lyndon B. Johnson, 1908, and Paul Rubens, 1952. And let's spotlight Man Ray.
Great pick. Man Ray, American avant-garde artist and photographer, used Dada and Surrealist experiments to shift visual culture. His camera-less rayographs and solarization techniques are the stuff of legend.
From an infrastructure and design angle, the method became the message. He took photographic processes apart and rebuilt them into new visual languages, like re-engineering a bridge to change how people move through a city.
Exactly. Le violon d'Ingres is iconic, but the daring of rayographs, placing objects directly on photosensitive paper, deliberately dismantled the medium's rules and echoed far beyond the darkroom.
And solarization, partially reversing tonal values, was a chemical and optical tweak with intent. Like adjusting a traffic signal to change flow, it opened fresh possibilities for composition that fashion editors and photographers ran with.
He didn't just invent techniques, he moved photography up the art hierarchy. Bridging Dada, Surrealism, fine art, and commercial fashion, he pushed it from documentation into conceptual terrain that still resonates in galleries and magazines.
And the cross-disciplinary bravery, sliding between painting, film, sculpture, and photography without asking permission, is a reminder for city planners too. Breakthroughs love porous boundaries.
Absolutely. A detail that underscores that boundary blurring. Some of his most influential works were made without a camera at all, challenging assumptions about what tools are necessary. Surprising, right?
Surprising and liberating. In an era obsessed with cameras and software, his approach says process and idea can outrank tools, which matters when resources are constrained.
Culturally, his imagery, playful, unsettling, elegant, reshaped how we think about identity, objects, and spectacle. You can trace that lineage straight through contemporary fashion photography and editorial storytelling.
And in urban visuality, the way cities are photographed, marketed, remembered, his influence nudges us to find surreal intersections in the everyday, changing how public spaces get represented and read.
So celebrating Man Ray means honoring someone who widened the visual toolkit, expanding what photography could do for culture, politics, and commerce.
And it's a reminder that technical experimentation, whether in a dark room or a planning office, can have long-term cultural impact. His legacy still shapes images and imaginations today. Time for a quick pause. We'll explore more when Neural Newscast Deep Dive returns.
You are listening to NNC, Neural Newscast. All the day's news synthesized and verified. Visit our archive for past episodes at neuralnewscast.com.
And we're back with more from Neural Newscast Deep Dive. The human brain can transmit signals at speeds up to about 120 meters per second.
That framing, meters per second, gives an immediate sense of speed and scale for neural processing.
Turning cognitive throughput into a physical velocity spotlights just how rapid information transfer can be in the brain.
It also reframes responsiveness in systems. Human processing can reach that 120 meters per second benchmark.
For planners and engineers, that figure nudges us to design with human reaction windows in mind.
Right timing and sequencing in traffic systems or alerts should account for how quickly people can register and respond.
It shapes safety margins too. 120 meters per second offers a practical reference for perception to action timelines.
Concise, authoritative, and immediately useful as a design parameter.
Exactly. A single number that anchors expectations around human information handling speed.
Short, precise, and surprisingly evocative for such a complex organ. That's all for this Neural Newscast Deep Dive. For Jonathan and me, I'm Andrew. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for tuning in to Neural Newscast. Stay curious, stay informed, and visit nnewscast.com for more daily news and fascinating stories from history. At Neural Newscast, we mix real voices with AI-generated ones to bring you fast, high-quality news. Every story is created with AI but reviewed by humans to keep things accurate and fair. While we do our best to prevent mistakes, AI isn't perfect, so double-check key facts with trusted sources. Want to know more about our AI process? Head to nnewscast.com.